Hello and welcome to this week's edition of the Hockey House. You may know us from the popular hockey website, thehockeyhouse.net. I'm Stephen Ellis.
PI University, that's going to come up later in the show. I'm Brendan Saunders. What's going on, Stevie?
Where did you come up with that?
Well, actually, it's a further note to what I'm going to say later in the show. So when you watch this episode religiously, like I know everyone does, they're like, hey, I wonder what his hair looks like today. They'll know that it was PI at the beginning, PI at the end. How are you doing, Steve?
Did you play in any hockey tournaments this weekend?
Well, no, but actually we do have some hockey tournaments coming up, and by me saying coming up, I have no idea when they are. Usually he emails us at 10 o'clock on Thursday going, hey guys, we have a tournament in Saskatchewan. It's at 8 in the morning. Hope you guys can make it. The bus is at 6:30. Okay, bye.
And what time would you get? What time did you get that email?
At 12 o'clock on Thursday. Then we have a game at 6 o'clock on Friday in Saskatchewan.
Nice.
That's the shared hockey for you. There we go. But yeah, how are you doing, Stevie?
I'm good. I want to ask you some questions.
Okay, these questions must be asked.
So, NHL All-Star game. I know you didn't tune into it for a good reason.
Yes.
I just watched 21 hours of a 24-hour race. I know. Laugh all you want. It was a good race. Canadian team won one of the divisions.
Yeah.
But I turned in the All-Star game. I was giving it a chance. You know, last year was fun. Like the idea of seeing John Scott, a goon in the game, was interesting.
2 first names.
But man, that was an awful game. That made it the worst All-Star game I've ever seen. Like,
yeah.
I think most people were in agreement with that. And I do want to ask you though.
Okay.
What are your favorite All-Star hockey game memories?
I remember the one in Montreal. For some reason, that one sticks out.
2009, yeah.
I know I was with a couple of friends, Nolan and Adam, and other guys who had played on our hockey team years and years ago.
On the Zimbabwe Pancakes?
Yeah, the Zimbabwe Pancakes, the Pansaruskis. No, and for some reason their dads were there. I think my cousin was there. And we were watching the game, and it was like we were actually watching intently, and they were scoring, and everyone was like, "Gila, it's great!" But it was for some reason the Montreal one was fun, I guess, or it just stuck out to me as a good memory. But usually I hate All-Star games. God Lord.
See, I remember that one because you got Mike Komisarek making the game.
Oh yeah.
Kovalev was playing pretty good. I'm pretty sure was Koivu on the team.
I think
Huey was there, and as a guy who watched Montreal, that was pretty cool to see that. But they still cared a bit back then. One of my favorite memories was, I want to say it was 04 or 06, the year the Heat League got MVP.
Okay.
And
when he was talking to Jeremy Roenick like nonstop.
Yeah, and like they won he won a car and stuff.
Yeah.
Some of those moments were cool, and like, you know what? There almost seemed to be just more to it. The players cared a little bit more before.
Well, now all you hear is, well, we're tired, we don't want to do this. Now, I'm not a big fan of All-Star games anyways. I really don't care about them. I think they might as well be like the NFL where they play it after the season. But now it's all about, and this comes in the Olympics too, we're tired, we're this, we're that, we're this, and you never used to hear any of that, and I almost think it makes it worse when you do hear
because
about
you're
it.
playing a lot more games in the season, yeah.
Yeah.
Almost if we just got rid of the preseason, we could solve a lot of issues.
I mean, if the preseason was just for draft picks, I think that would be okay. Just for older draft picks, and
if they basically made it like almost like the AHL preseason.
Yeah, just for tryout purposes. Because I mean, the NHL, you know who you got. These guys have been training for months.
Let's put Sidney Crosby in this game for some reason.
He's great. We'll sell out our preseason crowd. It's fantastic. Yeah, no, I'm not a big fan of the All-Star game. I just remember the 2009 one saying that, and the one where Danny Briere won the MVP. I'm not sure which one that was. I think it was like 2006 or 7 when he was still playing with Buffalo at the time.
Yeah.
It might have been his last year in Buffalo, so 2007. I remember that one vaguely.
Well, I remember the skills competition being great. And the skills competition is still fun, but it's to the point where I can't remember anything. There's no YouTube crazy moments from this year's game. Mike Smith scored a 5-hole goal from the other end. That was impressive. But if anybody was going to do it, it was going to be Mike Smith anyway.
Or me, of course.
Well, exactly.
I'm Brendan Saunders. I'm on the Hockey House. Of course I would be scoring that goal.
Yeah, or I'd be scoring on you because that's what I did a couple times.
Yeah,
3 times in one game.
My defense might score on me a couple times.
But you know what? That game or the skills competition could have been.
I hate the skills competition anyways, but...
Yeah, I liked when there was actually some really cool moves.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, I know some people were mad about the elimination shootout not being there. I mean, if we're going to have it, I mean, this would be the place to have it.
As opposed to having it in the regular season.
Yeah, the regular season is awful, or even worse, the World Juniors.
People call the shit out of skills competition.
Yeah, but I mean, I mean, if you're going to have it there, I think that would be the best place to have it. But generally, the All-Star game, I did like when Ron MacLean was interviewing Gary Bettman. Sometimes I just feel like Ron MacLean's got the book on Gary Bettman. He just hates getting interviewed by Ron MacLean.
All right, so we're going to go to break. When we come back, we're going to give some ideas of what could make this game better because, you know what? It sucks right now. Welcome back to the Hockey House, Brendan.
Yes.
I don't care about you.
Where am I? That's Spinorama, but I can't.
NHL All-Star game.
Yes.
So we talked about this last year. We had
yes.
more time to think about it.
Okay.
What would you change in the All-Star game to make it worth something to the players?
After the season, I know.
Okay, I know you say that, but then it'd be kind of like the World Championships.
Yeah, I mean.
You'd hurt that. Then,
the
too.
only thing I would well. Sort of.
Like we don't like watching hockey in June.
Oh, I hate
so
that.
So you have an All-Star
it's
game.
It's awful, but I mean, if it was an All-Star game, like I mean, if it was, yes, it was like I don't really like to mold it to football, but football does it after, but not after the season, but it's after like the regular season, most of the playoff games. But generally, I don't like the All-Star game. But I say they have to have less. If they had less games, I think the All-Star game would improve. I mean, people would actually, if they weren't as tired and didn't bag and didn't go, oh, God, I just want to sit on a jacuzzi and rub a duck.
How about instead of the end of the season, the start of the season, you base it off of the year before's All-Stars, and because put it like NASCAR kind of does like an All-Star thing before the season. That works really well. It's really exciting. But like the first thing people see of the season are the best players all playing together. Then may get some of the some people are like desperate for hockey at that point, and we all know a lot of people won't follow junior hockey, unfortunately.
I know.
So
I do all the time.
So the NHL will be the first thing they can kind of see. So if you put the best players together on the ice at the same time, that wouldn't be a bad idea.
Yeah, no, maybe I don't know if I was gonna I don't know about the beginning of the season.
Do you know?
Well, I don't know. But no, if they went back to maybe the old formula where it was just East versus West, because now we're getting into all this different stuff where it's Gigantus versus Olympia, Troy Titan versus Jaizo Kazaizo, Mario versus Luigi division. I'm like, oh, whatever.
They might as well start doing like a Pokemon game where like a Yu-Gi-Oh duel.
Sidney Crosby, I choose you. Hi, I've got big lips.
But it's gotta mean something. And up until this year, the MLB basically did it so the home team, the winning team gets home team advantage
on the World Series. Yeah,
great idea. That actually puts something on it, and for a team that's in last place, it doesn't matter obviously, but for a team that's got a chance, it matters. I think you got to make it matter to somebody. If it's whether it's home team or every like the NHL will donate a certain amount of money to a different charity of each player's choice for the winning team. There's got to be maybe
a challenge, something
to play for. If you're just playing for all the glory and the fun, nobody cares. Like I was reading comments where someone said that their kid loves hockey, watches hockey every single night, watches every All-Star game since he's born, and he said that was the first time he's ever turned off a game in his life. That's not good when the kids, who this is pretty much designed for, are turning the games off. Yeah,
no, I mean, if it was, we've talked about first-round buys before, or just shorter first-round series. I mean, if they did have something where with the winning team, that first place team in the division, in the conference who won, gets like a first round bye or something. Now, I don't like that idea. I mean, I'm just throwing that out there.
It's a little complicated.
I mean, with I don't know if the All-Star game's ever gonna be fun for a lot of people. I mean, it has. I think it's just too complicated.
I like the idea when it was like North America versus the world.
Yeah.
Because then you got two different continents trying to just be the best. East versus West. Remember, these are just teams that are just made up because people have money to put teams there, and all of a sudden they're split in different conferences. When you make it like an international aspect, these guys are playing for a bit more than just, oh, I'm playing for a team that pays me the most right now. You're playing for a bit more pride. That may mean something to these guys. It almost be like playing international hockey tournament. Now, maybe do you put an NHL team together and play a small little tournament with teams coming all over the world to play them? It'd obviously be very big for the NHL teams, but that would almost be interesting if there's just something different to it. And it's just like some of these guys maybe don't deserve to be there every year. Wasn't Franz Nielsen in this game?
Yeah, he was. Yes,
kind of a weird, kind of a different option. He's having a good year, but
I mean, if it was a tournament style where you put the NLA All-Stars, the KHL All-Stars.
That wouldn't be fair still. Sidney Crosby and Malkin versus the best of the Swiss League would not be great.
Again, the other leagues probably wouldn't put their whole heart in it. They would play probably more for fun, but the competition would still be there. And I mean, it would bring a fresh new look to the same old we've been seeing for a long time. And even this division thing they're doing right now is kind of dragging on. It's not that fun. I think last year had a lot of stuff surrounding John Scott, which I think people took it and ran with it.
It was way overhyped.
Yes, but I mean, I'm not really big with All-Star games. I'm not really a big fan of All-Star games, so I mean, I don't really care. If they went back to East and West, it wouldn't matter to me.
All right, that's all we're talking about the All-Star game. We go to a break. We're going to talk about the top 100 players in the NHL. Welcome back to the Hockey House. Now, Brendan, by chance did you see the Buffalo Eagles play in Junior B?
Oh, I don't know if anyone saw them. I don't even know if the players saw them. But if you don't know, the Buffalo Eagles have lost their last 4 games. Combined score 80-2.
Hey, Brendan.
Wait a minute, something's rising from my back. I've got to stop clutching my button. What the holy Florida Panthers?
So there's a little bit of a story to this, but it's going to be not very interesting to many other people. But it's a very old, very old Florida Panthers.
Like 2000.
So basically, a friend of mine, Imran Huda, he, after spending some time with him in Florida, he knew I wanted a Florida jersey, sweater, whatever you want to call it.
And Switzerland.
Anyways, so he gives this one to me. So I thought this was pretty cool and fits me. And this is back from like the days when Luongo first played for Florida.
Luongo 1.0, not Luongo 2.700, whatever he is now.
Exactly. Now, speaking of Luongo, he did not make the NHL's top 100 list.
Yeah, and if he did, I would have been mad.
Let's talk about some of the snubs on the NHL 100 list. Now, I know we talked about, on the way here, we talked about some guys that maybe didn't make it, like Doug Kiki, and Jonathan Toews, and guys that made, good players.
Their careers aren't over yet, so we don't know what's going to happen. We saw Cam Neely and Danny Heatley kind of, get injured and leave. And I mean, that could happen tomorrow to any of these players. But yeah, no, for sure, yeah.
But even then, like, Heatley still had a lot of time left in his career, as opposed to these guys have achieved so much in their careers.
Well, they're young, too. Like, I mean, Danny Heatley didn't drop off till he was, like, 31.
Well, okay, so we'll talk about a couple guys that actually have a very good significance to Danny Heatley. So there was, some guys that were kind of not picked and controversial. Now, a couple of guys I want to name, Joe Thornton, a guy who, what NHL game was he on again?
Oh, man, wasn't that, like, 2008? No, that was Rick Nash.
I know Mariano in our control room would know, but
our stats man, yes.
But Jerome, 2K7 apparently.
2K7.
Jerome McGinley, he was a guy who played, or was the cover of NHL 3. He didn't make it. Now, but those two guys, Joe Thornton, he's 24th all time in points, with 1,372 points. That's pretty good, and 13th in NHL history in assists. Like, I know you can't just include points only as a guy, like, to make this list. But considering he's in the top quarter of the NHL's all-time points, you got to think there has to be, like, yes, he's never won a Stanley Cup. He's only been in one final. But that's got to be, like, good enough.
Yeah, I'm not, like, a huge Joe Thornton fan. I think he does the job for what he does. I know San Jose, I don't think they'll ever win a Stanley Cup just because him, Marleau, they've had Chichu there, they've had Heatley there, they've had Nabokov, going back to Niemi. And they've had Brent Burns is unfortunately I think the same way as them. They just kind of roll in, roll out kind of thing. They're in and out kind of in the playoffs, out of the playoffs kind of thing. So Joe Thornton, he's a good player in the regular season, but he doesn't bring it in the playoffs. And I mean, he does have the points. So I mean, you could argue that. But I think to be on this list, like I know people are like, oh, you can't have one. If you have points or you have Stanley Cups, you can't choose both. But I mean, that's why it's the top 100 players. These are the best of the best of the best. Like choose guys who have both.
So McGinley's got no Stanley Cups too, but
yeah. Well, technically he doesn't. But I mean, they did score on Heavy Bull in the Tampa Bay 2004. But it's like, oh yeah, no goal.
So he for 12 straight NHL seasons he had 30 goals, and that doesn't include the one lockout year. That's impressive considering one other guy did that in that span. That was Jean-Marie Doctor, who obviously made the list.
Yeah.
You got to think that he's one of the best wingers, one of the best power forwards, one of the best options that definitely did not make this list.
No, and he's played pretty much from when he was 19 to 40 years old. So I mean, he's
still decent.
Yeah,
he's going to be a big free agent or trade deadline acquisition.
Yeah, no, I think if he goes to any team, I think he's having a tough year in Colorado mainly because the team's so bad. But I mean, as a 38 and 39-year-old, he got 57 points, he got 49 points, so he's still able to bring it. He's in amazing shape. He's a really hardworking guy. But I mean, Jerome McGinley, for the longest time, was one of the best players. Like there wasn't even an option before 2014 didn't pick him on the Olympic team. It wasn't even an option. It was just like, yeah, Jerome McGinley's on the team, Sidney Crosby's on the team. So yeah, no, Jerome McGinley, I'm a bit upset because he's brung up pretty much his whole career.
Now here's a guy that is a little bit interesting too, Zdeno Chara. Now he's one of the best defensemen in our era. Of course, he's had a couple bad years. I say he should make the list. A lot of people said he should. He could have won a couple Norris trophies if it wasn't for Nicklas Lidstrom. Yeah. That's for sure. But the guy is also a billion feet tall. If he was, like I think we talked about this before, if he was 6'3", this guy's not in the NHL. He can't skate, he's got a good shot, doesn't use it much. He gets lost a lot in his own zone. He just intimidates everybody. And I think that's why people like him so much. But at the same time, you gotta wonder, like, was he good enough? Like, yeah, he was good enough to, like, for a good portion of his career, but a lot of it he wasn't too.
Yeah, no, I always think back to when Toronto would play Ottawa in the playoffs, and they'd always knock Ottawa out. I always remember him and Wade Redden they would dump it in his corner. They go after both of them. I know Wade Redden was awful. I mean, you can't play with Wade Redden. He really was not good. But Zdeno Chara, I always remember having a lot of trouble against the big games. And I go back to 2013 against Chicago in the finals. He had a lot of trouble against good players. And Zdeno Chara, to me, he always gets worse the higher the games go. He does have a good shot, but he is really, really slow. And if you go after him, he's kind of like an American. He'll hack you, slash you, get a penalty, and cough the puck up. So, I mean, Zdeno Chara, to me, shouldn't make the list. I'm not a big fan of Zdeno Chara. I never really have been. And when I watch him, he kind of reminds me of like a horse trying to dance on ice.
How about the goalie who's third for wins in NHL?
This one I did. I was upset.
I'm surprised because usually you don't have much to say about Leaf goalies.
No, well, this is the only when they beat Ottawa. This is the only reason they made the playoffs. I know when everyone in the universe was like, "Oh, Matt Sundin's great." You see that playoff he never showed up for, but
let me just name off a couple of his stats. Yeah, he's got 484 wins. That's the third most in NHL history. He won the Calder Trophy. That's hard for a goalie to do. That's not easy. He won the Vezina twice and the Jennings 4 times.
And Stanley Cup.
This guy's got some pretty good stats.
Dallas,
Stanley Cup with Dallas, which is really weird to remember.
Yeah.
Considering when you think of his best times, it was not with Dallas. It's like you think of Chicago after Hasek, and you think of even
Chicago
Leafs.
had a tandem of good goalies that came out of nowhere.
Or what about his time in Florida?
Oh yeah, that was great.
Or even his like 5 seconds with Nashville before he retired.
Yeah, it was great times. But no, so we're talking about Ed Belfour. If you didn't look up on our stats page and see, oh yes, Ed Belfour. Yeah, Ed Belfour, like this guy was one of the best goalies in the world. Like if not at certain periods of his career, was the best goalie that year in the world. Consecutively, he was a great goalie. You know, Ed Belfour was the only reason the Leafs ever would make the playoffs. Same with Cujo when he was there. Same with Reimer when he was there. They made the playoffs just because of him. It wasn't because of Darcy Tucker or Matt Sundin or Ty Domi or anything. Ty Domi definitely not.
But, it was Austin Matthews.
Yeah, this is when he was like, so I feel like I'm going to play for the Leafs in like 10 years. But no, Belfour was a great goalie. He made a lot of good saves and he had a lot of good years. And he won Stanley Cup with Dallas, played really, really well. Earlier in part of his career. But Ed Belfour, I'm upset he didn't make that. He was a really good goalie.
One quick one, Evgeny Malkin. So since 2006, he's got 814 points in 691 games. So that's well over a point per game. He's 14th all time in points per game, not active. I believe he's second in that. He's got a Hart Trophy, a Calder Trophy, a Conn Smythe, and 2 scoring titles.
And 2 Stanley Cups.
This guy's good. Didn't make the list, but he's got better stats than Lindros and Savard and a couple other guys.
No, yeah, and definitely when you see guys like Kane and Ovechkin making it, he's got better stats than Ovechkin plus the cups, and he's got better stats than Kane with the cups. Like, I mean, Malkin is he's sort of inconsistent from time to time, but I mean, so is Kane and Ovechkin. So I mean, it's debatable if he should have made it.
He's also a little underrated, because he's playing with Sidney Crosby.
Crosby, yeah.
There you go. That's all we have today for NHL Talk. We're going to take a break. When we come back, CHL Roundup. Welcome back to the Hockey House. Now, Brendan, right now we are, at the time of us filming this, we are missing the end of the CHL Top Prospects game.
I know!
But you miss that game every year anyway. So.
I know. There's parts of me that are burning inside. I'm like, Connor Timmins, I mentioned you last week.
Seeing as the playoffs is coming up soon for pretty much every junior league, it's a good time, I guess, to do the CHL Roundup. Yes. Something you've never done before, right?
I know. Where am I? CHL, does that stand for Can Hockey Lose?
You're pretty close.
Oh,
yeah. Canada will lose hockey. So.
I know. Oh, God.
Anyways.
Yeah, so my CHL ran out. Now, I do want to go quick on a couple of these because I have a special player to mention that does not play in the CHL, but I think can play in the CHL. So I'm going to go league per league, so I'm not going to do stretch.
I can't believe you're going to talk about me.
I know. So, okay, I started in the QMJHL because I started in the WHL last year. So, my QMJHL.
Last year?
Yes, last year. Yeah, that's exactly. Yes. So the QMJHL, I know. This QMJHL, I'm starting with the Rimouski Oceanic. I know everyone's like, what? Philip DeRoche, Frederick Gauthier, Samuel Moran, Chris Claverton? No, those guys are gone. No, so I'm talking about Rimouski because Rimouski's been okay, just okay for the whole season. But no, they started to really heat it up. They've had a lot of good players step up in big moments. They just went 3 for 3 on the weekend, and I'm talking about this week. So you watch next week, and you're like, wait, no, they lost all their games. Well, this is this week. So the Rimouski Oceanic are my QMJHL team of the week. Now I'm going to go a bit out of order. Sorry, OHL. I'm going right to the WHL. Because I haven't gone down that sort of, so I'm going to just loop around the stuff we see here. So, okay, so my WHL team of the week, Victoria Royals. Now, Tyler Soy, I'm going to talk about him later. Hint to my player of the week. I know Tyler Soy, I mentioned Matthew Phillips last year. They're doing really good. Dante Hanu is another shorter player. I've mentioned Chaz Renticott before. Yeah, Victoria's doing really, really well. They're starting to pick it up. It's a really tough year in the WHL with Kelowna is still competitive. They have Prince George there. They have Regina who's going to be really good. But no, Victoria, I think they're pretty good. Now to the OHL. Okay. I think everyone knows who I'm going to think because who else could you pick? The Owen Sound Attack. Owen Sound Attack have pretty much been on fire for the last 17 games. They won their last 16 of 17. They even got a point in the game they lost against London 7-6. Nick Suzuki's playing great. A guy we interviewed a long time ago, Kevin Hancock, is absolutely outstanding right now. Like, this is coming out. He's doing better than guys who went in the first round. He went in the 5th round. Marcus Phillips is playing really, really well. And all together, Owen Sound is doing really well. Now, okay, so my QMJHL player of the week, I wanted to mention him last year, Tyler Boland. He took the top scoring title from Maxime Forte. He's pretty much been on fire. He's one of the guys who was on that team in Rimouski when they made it to the Memorial Cup. Tyler Boland, he 83 points in 50 games, and he's a plus 14 on a guy who's minus for the most part. Tyler Boland, on fire. Okay, so my WHL, as I was saying, my player of the week is Tyler Soy.
You mentioned it before.
I know. Who? Tyler Soy? S-O-Y? Tyler Soy's been really, really good. 50 points, 37 games. He's a plus 30. This is a guy who wasn't drafted in his draft year. Was drafted by Anaheim the next year in the 7th round. Tyler Soy, definitely a good player. If you're going to check him out, Tyler Soy.
Played in under 18s, right?
Yeah,
that's a late replacement.
Yeah, played at the Ivy League. He's a good player. Tyler Soy is a really good player in my book. Okay, so my OHL player of the week. Now, this is going to be strange because he's actually younger than the prospect, but it's Alan McShane. Now, Alan McShane, I called it when he got traded for Anthony Cirelli. Alan McShane, I can't believe I'm saying this, has been even better than he was on Erie. Erie was a tough team. He was playing, I think, 3rd line, 2nd line, and he was still doing really well. Oshawa has pretty much been outstanding for him. 33 points in 41 games. Has been outstanding on Oshawa. Outstanding. Okay, so now to my prospect of the week, Rimouski Oceanic. Okay, so it's Carson McKinnon. Now this guy, him and Jeremy McKenna of the Moncton Wildcats pretty much destroyed the Canadian Winter Games 2 years ago. Ian Blacker played in that. But no, and he had a 4-point game the other day, and he had a point right after his 4-point game. So 20 points, 47 games. It doesn't sound like a lot, but considering where he started from, Carson McKinnon's the guy to look at. He's a draft-eligible prospect, so I'm excited for Carson McKinnon. Now I'm going to wait a minute. No, I'm going to stay in the OHL. So the guy who's playing actually right now, hopefully, Jacob Paquette. I really like Jacob Paquette. I compare him to a Mark-Edouard Vlasic. He's really defensive. You're not going to find a lot of offense from Jacob Paquette, but no, he's really good. Okay, now the WHL. Now he's a 97. He's still draft eligible, and that's Patrick Bykoff. He has 59 points, 47 games on Everett. Everett, they're a good team, but they don't have a lot of scoring. But Patrick Bykoff he's a reliable player, which I think is underrated. He's a really healthy player. He's played 2 full seasons, which is 72 games in the WHL, so I think that's underrated when you consider a healthy player. And he's really come out of his shell a bit because he's playing so well with the Everett Silvertips. He's their top scorer, and he's doing great. Now, a guy I want to mention because it went really fast, Justin Paul. Now, Justin Paul, he plays on Milton. This guy's on fire. 37 points, 43 games. Justin Paul is doing outstanding.
How old is he?
He's 2000.
Oh.
And when you talk about Justin Paul, you're thinking, okay, he was in that 2000, but he wasn't drafted. He's doing even better than Jack McBain, who was a 1st-round pick in that same draft that Justin Paul. And we saw Justin Paul last year at OHL Cup. Did good, 6 points, 6 games. There was a lot of good players on the junior Canadians team, so it's hard to stand out. But no, I wanted to mention Justin Paul because if you're watching this, because I know everyone is, you're doing fantastic. And for a guy, this is what I said: go to a team that's going to get you ice time, going to get you games. He's doing exactly that, and I'm very happy. Justin Paul, way to go!
There you go. That was
Mississauga boy.
That was a good roundup.
Yeah.
I do want to give a quick shout out to Tajikistan. They just played their very first hockey game. Anyways, that's it for this week's edition of the Hockey House. Make sure to follow us on Twitter and Facebook, and check out thehockeyhouse.net for all episodes of the show. I'm Stephen Ellis.
I am Brendan Saunders.
Thanks for watching.